Good morning, I'm Jeff. I'm a Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 2208 Long Street here in West Linn. We're located on the rooftop. We have a 4-inch cast iron vent as our point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of our sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. I have it running pretty lightly right now. I did a test run because just the plumbing downstairs looked like it might be complicated to go through a roof vent. But there are some issues with the line, so I've got the water level or water volume running very lightly, so I have a little bit better look at things. But anyway, I'm going to zero out the camera counter once we get down here to the base of the vent, which is right here. Alright, here just 3 feet from the point of access, line transitions over to 4-inch ABS plastic. This pipe right here is all visible inside the basement. And then transitions back to cast iron here at 13 feet. Alright, here at 31 feet out, we do have a root intrusion through the line. I'll locate that on the way back out. I'll get that marked for repair. And then it transitions again here to ABS plastic. Looks like we have a belly in the line here. Not a terribly long one, but I'll get the water completely turned off. I'll have a little bit better look at that on the way out. But it does look like the pipe is settled there. Some more standing water there right before it transitions here to terracotta clay pipe at 53 feet. It's kind of difficult to see because my camera is a little gunked up with some debris, but just beyond this point here, right down, the line starts filling up with water. And once I get here to 56 feet, the camera is coming to a stop. I'm hitting a lot of resistance. I don't know if this is roots that's blocking up the line right here, or an offset joint. It feels somewhat squishy like roots do. It doesn't feel like I'm necessarily hitting like a hard pipe joint edge or something like that that's become offset. You can see how much it's kind of tough to see, but the line is filling up with water here. Right around that spot there where the camera can't get past. I am going to locate the camera head, or do my best to. Sometimes this much water around the camera head can impede the locate signal, but I'm going to attempt to locate the camera here and get this marked. I'll mark this with a white X, and then as I reel back, I'll get any other spots in the line mapped out that have issues. Alright, I did locate the camera head successfully. The line goes straight out past the, it looks like just off to the left side of the doorway, to the front of the house out to Long Street, and right here we're right at the edge of the street. And as close as that spot is there to some, looks like some arborvitae or some type of tree that's lining the street edge, it's entirely possible that could be roots. It could also be an offset joint. Either way, I do recommend getting that figured out by, likely it's going to require repair to correct that. You could try augering the line to see if that clears some blockage out of the way. That way you could end up scoping more of the sewer line out beyond that point. But I do believe that West Linn does take over responsibility at the street, so it's worth contacting the city to find out if they would possibly be responsible for this section of the line. It looks like right here at the transition point as well, we do have some roots coming down through. This is where it switches from ABS pipe, or I'm sorry, here, that might still be the terracotta. And the line is totally drained out at this point, so this, what we're seeing here is just standing water. That still looks like terracotta right there at the end. That's only about 2 feet from where the camera can't get past. It transitions from ABS to terracotta somewhere within that standing water right here prior to the roots. There's a little bit better view from right here, right before the line starts filling up with water. You can see down the pipe there a little bit there. You can see kind of a lump of debris and stuff sitting right in the flow line. That's right where the camera came to a stop at. There's a bunch of stuff building up right there at that point. With roots coming through here at 50, it's right around 53, just about 54 feet. It's pretty likely that there's roots up there at that point there as well. It's likely blocking the line. Again, it could be something else like a joint becoming offset or something like that, but it's hard to tell. There's a lot of debris there. It feels pretty squishy against the camera, so it's difficult to tell whether there's a joint causing debris to build up or if it's roots causing that same thing. Either way, it will require repair work to get that corrected. And again, I recommend contacting the city in this situation to find out if they are responsible from about the right-of-way at the edge of the property out to the main lateral. And as the camera sits here, it's clearing up even more. You have an even better picture now of all the stuff building up there at that point. Then we've got some standing water here in the line. It looks to be right around 1.5 inches, 2 inches of standing water. It starts here at 50 feet. I'm going to go do a locate here and just get this marked. I'll map out the section of the line here that has issues. I'm going to reel back a little bit more to see if I need to map out other stuff. I'm going to do a marking here at 31 feet. This is where the root intrusion first begins at. It does appear to be within the cast iron pipe itself. And from this point out to where we stopped, from 31 feet out to 56 feet, I do recommend correcting it and replacing it, as there's sections of standing water in and amongst some root intrusion and things like that. Looks like the pipe has settled, and you might as well, with this short of a section of pipe, you might as well correct all of it so that it drains out properly rather than doing spot repairs. It's generally more cost effective that way. Alright, I did attempt to locate right here. I'm able to pick up the camera signal. The issue is, if you're looking at from Long Street at the face of the home, on the far left front corner of the porch there's a pillar, and it looks like this root intrusion is right where that pillar butts up against the yard essentially. There's a bush right on top of where this spot is at. The problem is with the bush right there up close to that pillar, I can't get the camera or the locator right on top of it. So I do recommend relocates. I've just put a white marking right underneath that bush. It is to be considered a rough marking as I cannot get right on top of it, but it does look like that line's coming out. At least the way it appears, it's coming out underneath that pillar, and then it's hard to tell with all that stuff in the way of the locator if it's underneath the pillar, if it's right underneath the plant, or if it's right between the two. They're very close together. But either way, I do recommend a repair to correct those roots, as it would appear to be from that bush there. Again, we've got standing water here. It looks like there's about an inch or more of standing water. Once it goes up over the camera lens, it's difficult to tell how much there is. But there is obviously debris collecting in that, as it's very thick with junk. It's not clear water at all. I'm going to go back through some more standing water right here. Anyway, this is why I do recommend correcting the line basically from where that front porch and pillar starts out to the street edge. It's likely going to require repair out in the street area, but I would recommend checking with the city to see if that portion of the line is their responsibility. Unfortunately, I cannot get past 56 feet, which again is right where the street edge is at. And you'll see a white marking out there. It's right in front of the walkway that leads up to the house. And marked with a white X at 2 feet 5 inches deep. It's a very shallow sewer line. I'm going to do a marking here at about the halfway point at 40 feet. Between those two bellies, the line's draining out fine, but generally what I see is that it's easier to just correct the whole section of the pipe rather than to try and spot repair it. But that will be up to the repair guys to figure out the best way to go about that. So we have two bellies at either end of the ABS. We have the root intrusions at 31 feet, and then some more roots at 53 feet, and then likely a root intrusion or damaged pipe at 56 feet. I did just a white line marking right here. It's going up the little pathway that leads out to the street. I've done a white line there. There's a lot of stepping stones and stuff. It's very difficult to write anywhere on the ground, but it's about 1 foot 10 inches deep here. It's very shallow. Anyway, I've put a marking from where the porch meets the yard all the way out to the street edge. That's the section of the line that has some issues with roots and bellies. This belly here starts at 50 feet and extends out here to 54 feet. So it's about a 4-foot section of the ABS. It's lost grade. Well, it looks like ABS and terracotta. It's very hard to tell where it transitions at. It's somewhere in amongst that belly there. Then we have another belly here. It's ending right around 38 feet. And starts here at 34 feet. It's about a 3-4 foot section of the line of the ABS pipe here at the beginning. Which is why I've just done markings. I have a marking at the first root intrusion at 31 feet. I have a marking at 56 feet where I can't get past, right at the street edge, and then I did a marking in between just to show the section of the line that has the issues. It's basically everything from the porch out to the street. And likely beyond that point, it's just I can't get past it. So I do recommend licensed plumbing contractor come out and figure out the best way to fix this issue, whether it be by spot repair or by just replacing the section from the porch out to the at least the street edge, if not beyond that. But again, you have to check with the city to see if they're responsible for the from the right of way out to the main. I did want to mention one other thing here. The original reason I did a test run on this is I assumed that once the line, and you'll be able to tell when you go into the basement, the main line runs right underneath the ceiling. It's up off the ground above your head, and it passes through the front wall. And I assume because there's a sink in the basement that the line would 90 and go straight down so that sink could tie onto it. I'm not entirely sure how that sink connects to this line, as this just goes straight out through the front foundation wall, barely, a foot and a half deep under the ground. So I'm not entirely sure how that sink downstairs ties into this line. So that's something worth checking into. A plumber have a better guess on what's going on there exactly. I'm going to go ahead and reel the camera all the way back out.